Joining us right now is Lightspark's co-founder and CEO, David Marcus. Marcus previously led payments at Meta, is also at PayPal, and has been going to this conference, I believe, since something like 2013?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so what, it was like 5 guys in a basement in 2013, and now it's this?
It was, maybe 100 people in San Jose who didn't know what they were doing, but they found Bitcoin interesting.
And how many people were talking about this time?
35,000, I think.
So,
yeah.
When you saw the vice president there, I mean, if I had asked you in 2013, the vice president shows up at something like this, did you ever think that was in the cards?
If you asked me a year ago whether that was going to happen, I would not believe you.
And so where does this go from here? We were just talking to a fellow from Merrill Lynch, talking about sort of, when and if so these major firms are actually able to start pushing this stuff, not just sort of accepting it, if you will. How does that change it? Or do you think that's already built into the price?
No, I think there's so much room to go from here because Bitcoin is becoming mainstream. It's becoming really the true digital gold that we've all been talking about for a while, but now it's actually happening and people care.
But you've always talked about also trying to make it a payment system.
Yes.
Actually buy stuff with it.
Not necessarily with Bitcoin to unit of accounts, but build a real-time settlement network on top of Bitcoin.
Which is what your company does.
Yes.
So the question is, when does that take off?
Well, it's taking off right now. We're having very large digital banks coming onto the network. We have Nubank that has 100 million customers in Latin America. We have Revolut coming on. We'll make announcements soon about U.S. banks coming on as well. And other large wallets that are coming onto the network. So we're live in 70 countries, and you can move any currency to any currency in real time 24/7 on a weekend with Bitcoin in the middle. So it's happening.
How do you feel about a company like a GameStop putting it on its balance sheet, maybe playing a little bit of a Michael Saylor game? I don't know. And whether you think that's coming to corporate America writ large?
I think it is. The really interesting thing with Bitcoin is the incentives that were baked in 16 plus years ago, and now you see it play in such an incredible way. We had a lot of concentration with strategy, and suddenly you have dozens of other companies that are spinning up. So you're spreading the risk basically into other companies, and even Michael would say that he welcomes other people doing it.
You've given a lot of your support to President Trump. I believe you sort of switched gears.
Yes, I did.
And went that direction. And so my question, though, is I imagine you're very happy about some of the policies as it relates to Bitcoin. But what do you think of his family's involvement and his own personal involvement in Bitcoin? Well, and not just Bitcoin, crypto, meme stocks, the whole thing.
The question would be the same if you're talking about stocks and the stock market. Like, is the president's family allowed to actually trade stocks or deal with the private and public markets? And I think the answer is yes. And I think this is a new category.
You think the answer is yes?
I mean, it's a class. It's a new. Is the family not supposed to be able to buy stocks?
Correct.
Or even bonds?
Yes, they're not. They're not.
Are they allowed to hold dollars?
Well,
that's an asset class too. I mean, it's a decision that you're making to hold dollars. It might not be a great decision.
Historically, presidents have either gone to blind trusts or done other kinds of things in the same way that if you want the head of the SEC, I would imagine you wouldn't want them trading. I would imagine you would not want Congress trading if they knew or had any influence over any of these things, right? But just from a public trust perspective?
But I think we talked about this last time, but it's like Nancy Pelosi supposed to trade stocks?
No, she's not. I've said it publicly. It's a disgrace.
But individual companies in Congress, I mean, that's rife with conflict. How does the president control Bitcoin? Necessary. I mean,
if you have a regulation that says, okay, now the whole world can actually have it,
then that's
a big impact.
That's the same as mortgages then, too. You can influence mortgages. You shouldn't be able... It's such a big...
You wouldn't want him owning Fannie and Freddie if you could influence mortgages, or...
Well, I wouldn't say can't have a mortgage or can't have a savings account or can't have a bond. These are much bigger... And less...
Like, everyone should have a bank account. I'm not saying you're conflicted by having a bank account.
Your family's supposed to be able to buy stocks, like your family, I would say. So I think it's just the reality is digital assets are becoming mainstream. And alongside other asset classes are being traded by many more people. including probably, and increasingly so, families of elected officials and others.
David, why would a stable coin based on the dollar not supplant the idea that Bitcoin will be used for frictionless transactions?
So people actually get really confused with stablecoins because they think it's both a digital dollar and a payment network, and it's only the former, it's not the latter. And so the way we see the world is we're very asset agnostic at Lightspark. So you can move fiat currency, you can send dollars to someone in Mexico receiving Mexican peso, or you can move stablecoins on top of Bitcoin. And we think that that is actually the best combination.
On top of Bitcoin, not on top of the dollar.
I mean, no, the stablecoin is a dollar stablecoin, but like the network is actually, that allows those stablecoins to settle is actually Bitcoin.